Sorry about the delay, y'all. Sorry about that. Yeah, I had somebody come up to my door at the very last minute. But salute everybody. Welcome to the podcast today. I am Urban. Appreciate y'all tuning in. This show that I'm going to talk about today. This show it really touches me um, personally. As a father, it really touches me personally as a one father. So I want to just express my concerns about this topic that I'm going to talk about today. Now, what brought on this topic for this show was that I had recently learned that DC Young Fly spouse, well, not spouse, but partner or baby mother, Miss Jackie O, had passed away. I learned of this last week, and I was going to talk about it, but of course I was doing my other streams, and so I finally made a time to talk about this. So before I give you my perspective about all this, let me go ahead and share with y'all the article which started my topic of discussion today. All right. So Miss Jackie O, this is DC Young Fly partner. She died at the age of 32. Now it was allegedly said that when she went to a Miami hotel on this past Wednesday, right? It was alleged that she was having a mommy makeover. Now, normally when people hear mommy makeover, we automatically make the assumptions that she was going to do some type of cosmetic work on her. But at the same time, the story in the article is very vague because they're keeping secret about her cause of death, which I find that very peculiar because normally they'll be able to release that information by now. Now, of course, she was a mother of three children, I believe, and there's a children that she left behind. Now, once again, I don't know for sure if the cause of death dealt with her having this alleged mommy makeover. I was trying to do some research on this, but I couldn't find a lot of information because they're concealing a lot. Even the posts that those posts showing that she was going to do this mommy makeover have been taken down since then. So I don't know. All right, sorry about that, y'all. Sorry about that. My the plug in my microphone came out. That was weird. All right, yeah, we back live. Yeah, the plug in my microphone came out, and I need to get this fixed too. So I'm gonna work on getting that taken care of as soon as possible. But yeah, just like I say, I don't have a lot of information about this because they're not releasing a lot of information. So I'm make sure I'm still live. Okay, yeah, I'm still live. All right, so I don't have a lot of information about this, but just like I say, this do sparks for a interesting conversation. Now, to be honest with y'all, with first I was going to present a lot of data to y'all. I was going to give you some statistics and all kind of stuff to try to go along with what I'm gonna talk about tonight. Uh, but I think instead of me doing that, instead of me dealing with this from more of a sociologist perspective, I believe that it's better for me just to talk about this from my heart. Talk about this from not only a man perspective, but also talk about this as a father. of daughters as well too. I'm gonna be really honest. I'm gonna be very honest. I believe with everything in my heart that us as men have dropped the ball on our women. Say again. I believe that us as men have dropped the ball on our women. I believe that men need to be held accountable for the social standards that we put women through, especially dealing with beauty. Now we can go through the saying talking about beauty is skin deep. I mean we could say that, but when it comes down to it, all the some standards about how the way a woman should look, all the standard about women going out and they're doing BBL surgeries and all this other type of augmentative surgery, which is unnecessary. We could say that we're to blame for that. Us as men, we treat looking at women as though it's just a one pedestal, as though as a woman is a pedestal. The finer the woman, the more we will go out the way to present this imagery of the woman and give this certain expectation of other women. We will use, just like what I did, we'll use thumbnails. Instead of using thumbnails of just an average woman, we'll use thumbnails of the most beautiful woman. When we go out and be on the hunt looking for a potential woman or a potential wife, we don't go after the quote unquote average looking woman. We'll try to pursue the best looking woman possible. We'll go out on the hunt in the streets. We'll go out on the hunt through social media, which is IG and all these other social media platforms. We will use other apps like dating apps such as Tinder or Plenty of Fish, and we'll just scroll through it and looking at the woman and her looks, and we'll pass up a normal looking woman every single time. Swipe right, swipe right, swipe right. Then we'll find that one woman, haha, time for me to jump into her DMs. The media has put women on a higher pedestal where even the media itself will, such as news outlet like Fox News, ESPN, regular news station, instead of them just hiring just a normal average woman who has the potential of bringing great things to their company, guess what they do? They go after the best looking woman possible. Rappers do the same thing. Instead of them having just normal women in their video, they go after what is known as the video vixens. They go after the best looking woman possible to create this imagery, to create this expectation that this is how the way a woman should be presented. Hell, even on the late Kevin Samuels made up a saying that a woman needs to be fit, friendly, and submissive. But the key word that I want you to pay attention to is the fit part, meaning that this woman had to have this certain look just so she could be classified as presentable to men. All these things that I mentioned on tonight on this podcast, this goes along with my argument of saying that we as men have dropped the ball on our women. We as men need to be held accountable for the things that are happening with our women. In fact, we as men need to be held accountable for how the way the modern day women are right now. Now it's very easy for, just like say men, it's very easy for men to just blame the modern day woman, to create podcasts about the modern day woman, to shame the modern day woman. It's very easy to do that. But however, it's difficult for men to take accountability for making that modern day woman the way that she is right now. It's time for us to step up as men and take accountability for the choices and actions that we made. It's time for us to take accountability and thus change the perspective about how the way a woman should be. Now I'm a father. I have daughters, and even at their young age, they're dealing with the one social norm about beauty. They are dealing with the social norm about um, if I'm desirable enough for my fellow peers, and they're young. It's crazy how even while they're young, they even in their young age they're being classified in a certain group. They're classified in a certain thing which is known as colorism as well too. Whether light skinned women will get or girls will get more attention than the dark skinned girls. And this is them at a young age. And so once again, we as men, we have dropped the ball on this for real. We have allowed this thing to get out of hand where the very most precious resource that we have, we're using it and abusing it. We set a high unnecessary physical standards on it. The very first thing we do as men is that instead of us judging by the character of that woman, we want to judge by the looks. When we see any type of woman of beauty or high beauty, the first thing that comes into our mind is that she probably be either a 3 or 4. She may be easy, especially especially if that woman is presenting herself in a certain type of way. So we didn't drop the ball as men, and it's time for us to change the game as men. It's time for us to restore it how the way that it needs to restore. I believe a lot of things that are happening with our women right now, and I believe that um, if we as men would take accountability for the choices that we made pertaining to beauty with the woman and restore promoting positive affirmation with our women, um, letting them know that regardless if you want doing all these modifications, that at the end of the day, we accept you as you. We accept you for your natural looks. You don't have to do all this extra stuff. Now I'm also a married man. My my wife does the same thing where she do likely modifications within herself, meaning that she'll enhance herself by applying some makeup on, applying lipstick. Even be times where she'll do well at the time before she got her hair lock. Um, she was doing her augmentation, meaning that she was on doing tracks and sew ins and all these different things like that. But one thing I did, and one thing I continue to do as a husband is I kept on giving her positive affirmation about herself, meaning that I was letting her know that I love you regardless if you wear makeup or not. I didn't marry you because of physical looks, but I marry you because of your character. I marry you because of your moral compass. And I let her know that every single moment. Even moments where she feel that just like this TLC song that I was playing, Pretty, even when it be moments when she feel like she's Pretty, I make her feel that she's the best thing in the world. But it's me, who is making the choice to do that. It is me, who is putting forth the effort to allow her to understand that all these things is unnecessary. But it's sad that women like my wife and other women, right? It's sad that we live in a culture or a society where she had to do that. She had to temporarily enhance herself just to fit in with her fellow peers. Because even her fellow peers, fellow women, right? They've been so programmed into this society where even her own peers would talk down on her. And I know women that I know women right now, y'all want looking at this right now, and I know that y'all done been through this, where your own fellow peers will talk down on you. Girl, look at her. Wonder why she didn't wear no makeup. The only way, just like I say, the only way this is going to want to change if we all put forth the effort, especially as men. It starts with us as men. As men, it starts with us still making the choice to do better. Relationships will be better if we remove all these unnecessary social norms that we have placed within ourselves. These unrealistic expectations that we place within ourselves. When it all comes down to it, y'all, we are going to eventually age. We're going to get older. Hell, you can see it right now with me. I'm not got older. I got gray hair. I didn't look how the way I looked when I was younger. It's the same exact way with women. They're not going to look the same way how they look when they was younger. They're going to age. They're going to go through natural transformations. So it's up to us as men to already have a program and set it to our mind to accept women for who they are and not try to modify them or force them to change. Now, with the situation with Jackie O, I believe I honestly believe that DC Young Fly. I honestly believe that he didn't go through the process or forcing her to, do certain type of modifications of herself. But I believe that DC Young Fly was doing what any other good man would do, which is to be supportive. But deep down inside, if he really cared about her, then he wouldn't have cared about her looks because he wanted to see who she really is. Now, once again, I don't everything that's been speculated about her timely demise until everything be posted out. But we need to, just like I say, we need to talk about this. We need to have this conversation, men. We need to let our women know that it's okay for her to be her. It's okay for her to just be her normal self. Men, I want y'all to understand this clearly, okay? I want y'all to understand that women have a very, very tough time with coping with everyday social norms dealing with beauty. Now y'all can want to argue and say that, well, we men, we be dealing with this and that and that. Fine. But women deal with way more stuff than what we deal with as men. And it's time for us to acknowledge that. It's time for us to accept that. It's time for us to once again change the game and allow our women, to be who they naturally are. But however, if we're immature, if we're still chasing after what looks good on the inside, what do you think is going to happen to our daughters? They're going to be placed within the same standards. And even further than that, now that I think about that, even if you're a man right now and you're listening to me and you have a daughter, and you still have that immature mindset that you're looking for this top-notch, beautiful woman, and this woman have to be the certain way all the time, and you're a father, how dare you, man? I want you just to look at your daughter. Would you tell your daughter that she had to look a certain way? Would you literally go and put makeup on your daughter, put lipstick on your daughter? Would you literally take your daughter to get any type of enhancements done so your daughter could look good for you? Now I know what I'm saying. It sounds very weird, but I just want y'all to think about it from this perspective. Would you do the same thing to your daughter? What if your daughter want to come home from school one day and she was dealing with this same type of social norm about beauty that, like I stated earlier, that her one fellow peers was making fun of her? What would you tell your daughter in that situation? Would you tell your daughter to suck it up and adapt to the social norms that she's dealing with right now? Or will you be a father and console your daughter and accept your daughter for exactly how the way she is? And let her know that it is nothing wrong with her. Do y'all know that even within the suicide rates and stuff, a lot of suicide rates is happening because of social norm standards dealing with beauty? That these women, they feel like that they don't have what it takes to, as men say, compete. So they just give up. Now there were certain I not said this before on one of my podcasts, but there are certain things or certain standards that I honestly will agree with doing any type of argumentation. These this standards are simple. That let's say for example something tragic where that happened with that woman, like she would got into a car accident or she was in a fire, something traumatic happened with her where augmented her natural look. Then of course augmentation surgery and different type of enhancement surgery would be needed for that situation, which that's understandable to me. But however, when you're doing it just because you don't need it, but you're doing it because you're trying to constantly compete, you're trying to constantly be accepted, then that's where I personally would draw the line and say, nah, it's not worth it. I've seen countless of reports of women doing these BBL surgeries, and these surgeries been done bootleg, and these women end up losing their life over it. And there have been reports where the surgery being successful, and the women regret having the surgery because it brought them more pain than pleasure. It started attracting a certain type of audience of men that they didn't even want to have in their immediate space. So it's not even worth it at all, period. Just like I say, when I look at my daughters and I look on how innocent my daughters are, sometimes me as a father, I not feel sad because I know that they are either going to go through or they are going through these certain type of social norms I'm talking about dealing with beauty. And the one thing I could do as a father is to protect them. And the one way I can want to protect my daughters is to tell them the truth, which is you are beautiful with or without makeup. Don't let these people tell you that you need to enhance yourself to look better when you don't need to. And I believe us as not only fathers, but us as men, we have to set that standard. It starts in our home, that we have to set that standard for not only our daughters, but if you're in a relationship, you have to set that standard. If you're married, you have to set that standard too. Letting these letting the girls and the women in your life know that it is nothing wrong with them. They are beautiful and they are fine how the way they are. It is okay for you to be you. So it's time for us to want to stand up as men and take accountability. It's time for us as men to stand up and just be different. Stop pretty much being a punk and allow society to dictate to you how the way our women supposed to be, how the way our women supposed to look, how the way our women supposed to feel. Men, our women are losing respect from us is because we're not stepping up. We're not stepping up and taking authority off of something as simple as this topic that I'm talking about right now, which is dealing with beauty. So our women is losing respect from us. And so now they're left to either compete or perish. And guess what? The natural form of nature, guess what they're going to do? They're going to survive. And then we have the audacity to sit up here and complain when the one women do these things, right? We sit up here complain when we try to go and holler at a woman and they don't want to talk to you. And you end up turning into what is known as an incel because you've been rejected by the very thing that you created. You've been destroyed by the very thing that you created. Just like the book Frankenstein. You created this monster, but you don't want to take accountability for the monster that you created. You want to play the victim. I personally myself have took accountability as me as a man about my standards about how the way I treated women. And all of this, me personally, all of this came from how the way I was taught when I was young. I was taught when I was young to go after the best looking woman. I was taught when I was young that women were expendable. That women was only there for one purpose and one purpose only, and that just to procreate with them. That's it. But I had to unlearn myself from all that. I had to unlearn myself from all this traditional, old, historic, traditional values of how the way we treat women. I had to relearn that a woman is not only my partner, but a woman is my ally. A woman is my friend. I had to learn that a woman is not my enemy. And last but not least, I had to learn that a woman is not an object that you just control like an animal. But a woman is just as equally human as I am, as a man. A woman have feelings and emotions just as equally as I have as a man. So I had to want to relearn all of this. Well, when I unlearned all of this, y'all, that's when my reality changed about how the way I view women. And I believe men need to follow suit and do the same as that thing, need to unlearn all this stuff and relearn all over again about a woman. We have been taught as men to study women not for the sake of partnership, but we had learned to study women as a form of a conquest, as a form of what can we do to get this woman. And that's all we know of. So now it's time for us to unlearn all this stuff, fellas. A woman is not an object. A woman is not this thing that you just possess. And a woman is not just a plaything that you just play around with and throw it aside when you're done with. A woman is a human being. Miss Regina, salute. Miss Regina, salute, and salute everybody who's on tuning into the podcast. A woman is a human being. I also did a stream talking about feminism and stuff, right? But one key thing about that on stream that I did that I kept reiterating about is that feminism was actually created through our doing as men. Once again, feminism was created through our doing as a man, as men, because all the women wanted to do was to at least the bare minimum, at least feel like they're equal to a man, not in a way how men interpret it as, which men interpret it as women was trying to be like a man. No, when women were saying that they wanted to be equal as a man, they wanted to have the same rights and the same standards as men, which is voting rights, which is the right to go out and be part of the labor force, to contribute to the nuclear family household. That's why the feminism movement initially started, because the men of this country was treating women like possessions. Hell, they was treating women like slaves. The same level like how African Americans in this country was dealing with slavery, they was treating their women on that same level. Where they forced their woman to literally be a slave. And fellas, and this is the reason why women are so afraid to commit. Sour Patch, salute. But this is the reason why women are so afraid to commit to us. This is the reason why women are so afraid to submit, based on what happened to them historically. Because historically, the man back in that time was treating the women like slaves, where they forced women to cook for them. They forced women to rub their stinky feet. They forced women to have sex with them. And then if they didn't perform this, as they call the duties of the household, they found another woman who was willing to do it. So these women got tired of it. They got tired of it just as equally as African American people got tired. Our ancestors got tired of being in slavery, got tired of being in bondage. They wanted to be set free. Hence, this is the reason why the equal rights and feminism, the first wave of feminism, was actually created, because of the things that we was doing as men, the things that we was thinking about as being quote unquote traditional. It wasn't. It was beneficial for men, but it was not beneficial for women. These women dealt with traumatic experiences dealing with our predecessors. It even went further to where men had a certain standard with the same women, right? Where these women had to look a certain way. So, like I say, this tradition, the trickle all the way down into where we at right now. Where even to this day, women are just still fighting for the simple right to just be equal, to be noticed for them, to be noticed as a woman. Thank you, Regina, for the cash out. But they just want us to just be noticed. And facts, Regina, back in the caveman days, you went all the way back, huh? You know, I find it funny that even right now in the modern day time, when we talk about body enhancements and beauty, I find it interesting that these same type of men who looking for these women to be a certain type of way, and then when they get rejected by the very thing that you created, that they want to do physical harm to these same type of women that you didn't create. I find that very interesting. And doing harm is physical harm and mental harm. And I just find that interesting. And I find that very weak as well too. It's on women who are out here right now. They're looking for relationships, right? They want to be in relationships. They want to be in a happy relationship. They're looking for a man to not only provide for them and to protect, right? There's women out here right now who are on these like apps and stuff, right? Like I mentioned earlier, but like on Tinder and all this stuff, right? But yet, it's still these women that could be potentially good women, but just like I stated earlier, they just getting passed on by because of us, because how the way we are as men. So that's why I'm saying that it's time for us as men to change the game, to change the standards. There are a lot of men right now who are political figures. There are a lot of men right now who represent the House of Representatives in our respective states. There are a lot of men who are one part of the Senate. So if that be the case, right, then we see the negative impacts of these type of enhancements is doing to to these women, right? If we say that we're men and we say that we're leaders, is it not for us as leaders part of our duty to protect a woman, right? Is it not our duty to go and utilize the skills and resources that we have as being House of Representatives or being senators and stuff, right? And pass certain type of bills that will protect women from doing this. Meaning that, and I'm just gonna be honest, meaning that maybe a bill should be placed where the only time a woman should have any type of augmentative surgery is when she dealt with a traumatic experience, like dealing being in a car accident or something extremely traumatic, where it's needed for her very survival. But other than that, if it's not needed, then why not ratify a bill to exclude people from just doing it just because they just want to look good? Why not prohibit that all across America? Hell, not only that, why not prohibit that across the whole entire world, where women don't have to travel to Mexico to get a surgery like one girl did and she ended up dying, or going to these other one countries to try to do it? Why not ratify that across the whole entire world to show our women that we're here to not only provide for them, but we're here to protect them? But the one way that's going to happen is that also our mind have to change too. We have to be different. We have to see things different. Can be salute. Welcome. But yeah, we have to see things differently. Man, there's so many women out there that do pass by that you won't even get to know them because your first instinct is to judge them based on how the way they look. Sorry, start getting tongue tied. That furthermore, we look as far as colorism as well too. Yes, colorism do play a key role in this as well too. The more light skinned that woman is, the better pleaser she is in a man's eyes, and it shouldn't be that way. I those of y'all who was watching my past podcast last week when me and Psychology Eats was covering the topic with Danielle Jackson. Y'all remember the question that I had asked on Psychology Eats, and I had asked her. I asked her a question. What would be pretty much on the looks and stuff. I was asking her like, is it the physical looks that a man look for first, or is it the character? And we both agreed that it was the physical look. But even then, to be honest with y'all, it shouldn't be that way. It shouldn't be that way at all. Yeah, facts can be out, and I agree. Yeah, no, Sour Patch, I agree with your statement as well too. Yeah, that is true. That women have an insecurity even within themselves, even after when they do the surgery, they still have this certain insecurity about themselves. I I have a one TikTok account too, y'all, and so I be watching on different TikTok videos of women on their right where they just have to constantly have to enhance themselves just to be recognized. Part of the blame is kind of like the woman, but the majority of the blame is with us as men. Like I say, a woman would never be insecure if we as men secure them. If we as men show women that you're there's nothing wrong with you, you're fine. Yeah, facts, Regina. Regina says, "So you got to love the skin that you're in." Mm-hmm. There's nothing wrong with makeup. Yep. And that's what I'm saying too. Like even with the makeup part. Now I understand that we're living in a social norm where part of the acceptance is that you have to look a certain way, especially when you go out to these certain jobs or whatever. You have to look as they call presentable, right? But it shouldn't be that way, even when you come into your own home or you're in your relationship where you feel like you constantly have to look a certain way. Ladies, let me ask y'all this question. Those of y'all who were in a relationship or you may be in a relationship right now, do you feel like the relationship that you in, that do you feel like that you always have to look a certain type of way in order for your significant other to notice you? If you do, then that's a problem because your significant other should be at a point of his life, or it could be even her. They should be a certain point of their life where they will totally accept you for how the way you are. They should be able to accept you for when you wake up in the morning, breath be stinky, hair ain't done, and they should be able to accept you exactly like that. You shouldn't have to go to bed with your hair done. You shouldn't have to go to bed with lip gloss on or with light makeup on. You shouldn't have to wake up in the morning with lip gloss and light makeup on. You should be your 100% authentic self. One thing, like I say about me being married, one thing that I normally enforce by encourage Mrs. Urban to do is this: I encourage her to be her. I always encourage her to be her because I want to see the real her, not the makeup version of her. And that's not only dealing with her beauty, but that also deal with her personality, everything. I want to see her, and so that's what she do. I see the real her. Now, when she go out into the world, because of this standard that I feel like that need to change, but when she go out into the world, she be a representative for her, which that's when she have to do these light enhancements, wearing a little makeup or whatever and stuff like that, just to fit part of the social norm. But when she come back home, she be her. And that's why I say that that's how the way it's supposed to be. That's how the way us as men supposed to accept our women. If we don't accept our women that way, then this insecurity that women deal with every single day is not going to go away because we're not doing our part as men to protect our women. Part of protection is letting our women know that we rock with y'all, regardless of how the way you're looking. Because, like I said, at the end of the day, once we all get old and we start to age, all that young look is going to fade away. And all you're left with is an old shell. Now, within that old shell, that's going to be the determining factor about the characteristic of that person. Within that old shell, you're either going to deal with somebody who's positive, who's a really good person, or you're going to deal with an asshole. And even then, a lot of women, when they choose their mates with even with men, right? And they become old, and they left with this dude, right? They dealing with this asshole dude. And that's another thing too that I want to talk to y'all about, ladies. Is about the it was about the makeup and stuff. Now I know through research that certain makeups and certain brands of makeup literally is destroying your natural skin. It's literally destroying your natural skin, your natural look. Here's an example. I remember a girl that I knew, right. We never dated nothing like that. I was just cool with her, but she used to work with Mary Kay, right? Those of y'all who not familiar with Mary Kay is pretty much a cosmetic brand, all right. where Mary Kay, they allow women to become entrepreneurs. But how the way they become entrepreneurs is for them selling Mary Kay products. So this girl, lady, whatever, right? She used to always be caked up in makeup all the time. Every single time she used to be caked up in makeup, nonstop. And so one day I had saw her without the makeup on, and she was looking normal. And now I kid you not, she looked like a totally different person. I didn't even recognize who she was. But where she wasn't, where she didn't have that makeup on, her skin had, like blemishes on it. It had like spots and blemishes, and it wasn't based on, like, a disorder or anything like that, like skin pigmentation disorder, nothing like that. It wasn't that. It was because she kept constantly wearing this makeup over and over again, nonstop, putting this makeup on her skin where it modified her genetic makeup on her skin so much so where it altered it, it damaged it. And so that's what I'm saying. Like even like applying the makeup and stuff, from when you just consistently doing it and putting a lot on right, that's not good. But at the same time, there are some dudes out there, that men out there that like that. They want their women to look like that. But them type of men, I'm letting y'all know, them type of men are immature as hell. Especially when they don't understand the ramifications of what it's doing to that woman long term. Yeah, no, normally I have my chat put up, but I don't know where my chat went to. It's kind of weird. It went somewhere. Hold up, maybe I could pull it up real quick. That way I can see y'all comments, because I keep looking back at my phone to see what y'all talking about. Give me one moment. Let me see if I find it. Oh, there it is. I found it. All right, now I can see what y'all talking about, and now I can put it on the screen. All right, cool. Oh yeah, facts. Not seeing all my flaws, and my man, and he seen mine. So yeah, facts. Because we at the end of the day, for us physical attributes, we are not perfect. We have flaws. There are things that we're not going to quote unquote accept of each other. And he told them he'll never have to get bored. The changes in the bathroom. I used to sell Mary Kay back in the day. Oh, that's what's up. And so can be, you know exactly what I'm talking about. You know exactly what I'm talking about. Mm. Oh, let me tell y'all this also too. Now, once again, I told y'all that one of my daughters, right, that she competes in competitive cheerleading, right. She competes on competitive cheerleaders. Now, I also talked to Mr. Urban about this, but it just is what it is. But one thing that I don't like about what she do the competitive cheerleading is that part of her requirement of being a cheerleader is that she have to wear makeup and all this stuff when she's doing a performance. Now the reason why I don't agree with that is because due to her being young, um, she should have had to resort and putting on all this makeup. And on competitive cheerleading, it's kind of like the kind of similar to when parents put they daughters in pageants and stuff, right? And they be having they daughters with all this makeup on doing these pageants and stuff. That's how it is with competitive cheerleading. What for is that part about the makeup part? That's how it is. And that part I don't agree with, but at the same time, I just accepted it for what it is because our daughter, to be honest, our daughter is naturally beautiful without the makeup on. She don't even need the makeup on, and she does natural with it. But it's crazy that that's a requirement. They make her enhance herself when she don't have to. But like I say, all of this is part of a social norm. Talking about Regina does freaky on. All right, yeah, I got caught up with the comments now because at first I couldn't see y'all comments at all, and I had to look at my phone to see y'all comments, but now I can see all of it now. But that was weird. But oh, let me show y'all this too. I forgot all about this too. I'm gonna share this with y'all. Um, are y'all are y'all familiar with are y'all familiar with the contrast effect in psychology? Are y'all familiar with that? You may know what I'm talking about. When I explain it to you, you'll know what I'm talking about. But there's a one study called the contrast effect in psychology. A matter of fact, if psychology, if she's watching this on live, she'll probably know what I'm talking about. But there's a study called the contrast effect. All right. So basically, what the theory of contrast effect is this. It's basically when let me get definition. I had it right here. Oh, here it is. It's basically when you have an unconscious bias that happens when two things are judged in comparison to one another instead of it being assessed, individually. That's basically what the theory is. All right. And so I'm gonna give y'all a example of the contrast effect in psychology. I'm gonna show y'all this example. Okay, pull this up for you. I think it's this screen. Yeah, here it is. Okay, so this is an example of it right here, y'all. Now, I want to pay attention to this particular picture. Okay, this little cartoon picture. Okay, first side, the woman is talking in her brain, and she's saying in her brain that she don't know. Then on the second part of the picture, she's saying so handsome. And so let's analyze this photo, okay? So basically, what's happened is that on the first half of this photo, She see this gentleman, right? And the gentleman is, just pretty much average as best looking, okay? And so she's questioning that because this gentleman look at average, he don't have no other thing physically that she desires, right? But however, when you want to place the same dude in a scenario where it's even more or less desirable, that's why the woman is saying that he's handsome now. And the reason why, because look at the two gentlemen behind this the dude, right, in the green. The two gentlemen in the dream in the two gentlemen that's behind the dude in the green, they look sketchy. They look like they probably gonna do something to her. And so through a natural response rate, she would go for this dude in the green. The reason why I'm bringing this up to y'all is because this is the same concept with men, how men deal with deal with women. Let's say, hypothetically speaking, in this same cartoon illustration, instead of it being a woman right there, it's the man who's right here saying that he don't know, and it is just an average as best woman right here. But then if you want to place that woman with other women, and this is dealing with colorism, if you place that woman with other women who are less desirable, right, it's going to make that man want that desire that woman more. Here's another example of this. And Psychology East actually had mentioned this too last week, right? She had mentioned that she had a friend, right? She had friends, right? Sorry, and that was all in a group, and they'll let the prettiest woman be the representation of their group. This is the same concept, right? Where the prettiest woman of their group would be the most desirable woman, and that man would go after the desired woman. But meanwhile, the other two women in that group, they'll be less desired, but the other men will go after the less desirable woman, if that makes any sense. And this all deals with the concept about the contrast effect in psychology. And it also plays a role in, colorism and all this other stuff as well too. Also plays a role, that, like I was stating to y'all earlier, about enhancements and everything. All right, I have an associate. She said her husband has never seen her without weaving her hair. That's not good. Because once when he see her, man, there's gonna be a rude awakening for him. And it's about different concepts. Yeah, equally yoke mentality. Hmm. And the only way you could be on equally yoked is that you have to, according to the biblical principles about that, and the only way for you to be equally yoked is for you to have the same ideology, to be pretty much on the same page. Explaining thoughts of individuals and behavior patterns. Of you asked me to explain that. Yeah, that's like a skinny, ugly, having fat friends, thinking the man would choose them first. Yup, same concept exactly. That is the same concept. And here's another concept too. All of us have dealt with this when we was in school, right? When we was in school, we had a certain group of people, right? You had the athletic people known as the jocks, right? And you had the less desirables, which is people who was like nerdy and geeks and different things like that. And now if you put them in a group together, like matter of fact, you just get one nerdy dude, right, and one dude who's athletic, right. What's going to happen is that through through the through the one concept or contrast through the contrast effect, right? What's going to happen is that that woman's going to pick the more desirable than the less desirable. But however, let's say it's the nerd, right? You take away the dude that's a jock, and you have the nerd, and you have the dude that's a school bully who goes around not only bullying the nerd, but goes around bullying the woman as well too. She's going to pick the more desirable, which is the nerd. But yeah, there's like I stated earlier, I used to be that man who used to want to do that, where I used to go for the most beautiful woman possible. But just like I say, I was doing all that because that's how the way I was taught to do. Because I thought that's how what we're supposed to do. But as I became older and became way more wise in my decision making, I learned that um, beauty is not a key factor, but getting to know the person is. And I remember when I was in the dating market, right? I was talking to all these different women. We was going out on dates and stuff, right? And I just listened to them talk, and I was like, man, I used to say this all the time, like, man, how is it that you're so beautiful, but you just dumb as hell, or you're so beautiful, but you just mean as hell? How is that? But likewise, the women that say the same thing about us men too, where they go out to be dating these different type of men, and they're like, man. Since y'all brought up about the weaves and stuff like that, personally speaking, y'all, I accept women who wear weaves and wigs and stuff like that. I accept that because it's part of the social norm. But for as a personal preference, I don't. Yeah, I never liked it that. I always go for the woman who's always natural. Yeah, facts. And can be that's all because of the standard where us men put them on such a high pedestal where they feel like that even their very personality can be held accountable because they feel like that long as I look good, it don't even matter. I could just do what I want, say what I want. And this is why I also mentioned about when I go on pages like on IG or even TikTok, right? I be looking seeing these women on here. Let's say you say you're afraid to lose your natural beauty by using a lot of makeup on your face. Yeah, because they like I say that's what ultimately will happen. Because all that enhancements is it damages your skin, especially when you put too much on. Especially when you put way too much of it on. And the crazy part about it is that if y'all look at the products that y'all have, like the makeup products, it'll tell you on the product that that'll potentially damage your skin and stuff. Use with caution. Yep. Most light skinned women, they're not attractive, but men have put them in their head because they are light skinned. Yep. And that's once again that's dealing with that colorism. I have met some light skinned women who are actually with some really good women who are really good, who are really cool. But them type of women, we call them type of women a diamond in the rough. You said all light skinned women aren't cute. Nope, you're right. They're not. But I guarantee you, some simp out there that thinks that all light skinned women are cute. You know what? That's I'm glad you mentioned about that, Canby. Let me explain to you the reasoning behind it. Okay. The number one reason why men would not approach her is because of the insecurity of that man. Now I'm saying that again. The reason why the man wouldn't approach her is because of the insecurity of that man. Now, what I mean by this, that man is insecure about that because he feel like that woman could get any man at any given time. So therefore, he feel like he doesn't qualify for that type of woman. And so to save him from the embarrassment, he just won't talk to her at all. And so your friend or any woman that resembles how the way your friend is can be, I guarantee that they'll want to go after. They'll try to go after the less desirable men because they know the ones that are more desirable. Them the ones who are curving them, pretty much. And the less desirable men that I'm talking about is I'm not talking about the ones who are um, as we call players, or as y'all women call them dogs, and and all that stuff. There, that just treat them just like how I said earlier in this podcast. Just treat women like they're property instead of treating them like a person, like an individual. Matter of fact, I did that where it was a woman who was light skinned, had a perfect personality. Nothing wrong with her. Humble, well respected. But I personally, at that time, I personally put my own self in the friend zone with this girl. And the reason why I put myself in the friend zone with this girl is because, just like I stated earlier, because I felt like I didn't qualify for her. I felt like that I wasn't her type, and I didn't want to go to the whole embarrassment of even remotely trying to ask her, anything like that. So I just never did it. But come to find out, like years later, come to find out that she really was into me. But I never knew because I never tried. Or say she listening. Well, salute. Welcome to the show. Please tune in to the one. Please not only tune in, but also sub to my channel, House Urban Lounge Podcast. But she says she's listening. She says you are right. Her ex husband was so jealous of her. Yeah, and that was all because of the insecurity of him. Then another thing too is that he felt like that he had to just work harder to keep you. Felt like he had to work extra hard to be that protection part too. Because at any given time he felt like, man, this girl gonna find her a Russell Wilson at any given time. I myself believe I am a beautiful chocolatey portion of scrundiliances. God dang it, here we go. Sour Patch, ladies and gentlemen, Sour Patch. But there ain't nothing wrong with that Sour Patch. You know I'm messing with you. Ain't nothing wrong with that. You should think that you're the most beautiful person in the whole wide world. And the guy or the man who crosses your path should think the same way too. Talking about exactly. But do I have any questions for me before I end the podcast? Because I know y'all been telling me that I need to engage y'all more in my shows, so that's what I'm doing. I do the first half of the show lecturing, the second half of the show engaging. So yeah, put y'all questions up and I'll answer to the best of my ability pertaining to the topic that we're talking about right now. Robbie, you okay? Hmm? Oh, Oh, welcome, best friend visiting from Seattle. Welcome, welcome, salute, welcome to the show, and I appreciate you subbing up. Now, do you have any questions for me? Um, welcome from Seattle. Welcome from Texas. Would I want a woman with all that fake butt and boobs for us the enhancements? No, I don't. Me personally, no. Now the only exception to that rule is that if that's something that she needed to do for some her dealing with some type of traumatic experience that happened to her in the past that she needed to do that, then yeah, I'll accept her for that. But if she just did it just to be looking good, no. Mm-mm. I just want me personally, I prefer for my woman to be as natural as possible. Man, y'all, I got a fly that's flying around my studio right, and it just getting on my nerves for real. It made me want to slap the hell out this fly. Hmm. Did, you want to say hi to the audience real quick? Yeah, you can say hi to the audience. My oldest daughter wants to say hi to y'all real quick. She's in the studio.
Hi. I exist. I know, it's so surprising. The oldest daughter of Urban says hi.
They say hi, urban daughter.
Hi.
Yeah, this is my oldest daughter.
And there goes a fly.
Hmm. All right. Well,
Don't forget to like and subscribe. I was not forced. I swear.
but this is the like I say this is why this topic hits home for me because like I say I have daughters. How many daughters I got? How many daughters I got?
One,
Two, three,
four?
four. You, Crystal. Yeah, four. I have four daughters. All right, I have four daughters. So yeah, that's why this topic is so important for me to talk about. You know, especially as a father, because I want to be able to convey this message where I'm also teaching my daughters the importance of this that um, a man should accept you for who you are. You don't have to do extra stuff to try to modify yourself. And also, there's is potential dangers behind doing that.
Hey, Camille. What you doing? On YouTube.
Talking about a little man in the shoe. Yeah, yeah. I got four daughters and two sons. One of which y'all know about because that's the one who recently graduated high school, and all of them active doing something. So Yeah, like I tell you, my middle daughter, she's in cheerleading. My other daughter, she's in the Junior National Honor Society. My other my oldest daughter, she's part of an art group. Well, what she do digital art designs and stuff. Um, and my youngest son, he's in sports as well too. He runs on track and play basketball and football whenever he decided to do that. Yeah, so all of them active doing something. Oh, and the baby, what she? Oh, she in ballet. The youngest one, the baby, she does ballet. But yeah, like I say, that's why this on topic is very important to me. It hits home because I know that in order for me to be there for my daughters, I have to understand the things that they go through, and this is one of the things that they go through. And so, in order for me to successfully help them cope through this, I have to change my whole mentality about me. I have to be different. And so, on this podcast, I just want to, like I say, through it all, I just want the men to follow suit and to understand that it's up for us to change our behavior. It's up to us to set a new standard for the women. So we don't have to go through this whole process talking about our women don't respect us or anything, like that. We don't have to go through that anymore when we're on the level of being respected, you know what I'm saying? Because we're respecting each other. If that makes any sense. Yeah, you said I forgot about. Yeah, I did forget about her. Then until I thought about her. Yeah, she ran her. She actually just came into the studio 2 or 3 seconds ago. She came in and came out. But yeah, we got to set that standard, y'all. Because if not, then we're gonna be dealing with this. So other than that, that's all like. Oh, wait a minute. I just thought about this. Is kind of in a way on top of what I'm talking about, but it's not. Let me ask y'all ladies this, okay? And I'm gonna end my show, okay? How do y'all feel about your daughters dating? Talking about as teenagers. How you feel about your daughters dating as teenagers? Do y'all or did y'all permit your daughters to date while they was young, like 14, 15 years old?
I ain't backed into the existence. That is fine. I'm not here. I'm just watching music.
Matter of fact, I may make this another show. Oh, you say you don't have daughters, you have sons. So same question. How you feel about your? I don't know how old your sons are. I don't know if they young or they already grown or whatever the case may be. But that's in general speaking. How do you feel about them being young, like you know, mid teenage, and them dating? Sour Patch said, "Yes, we allow all that." And Canby says she don't have daughters neither, but she have twin boys. Salute to the twins. but she didn't allow them to date until they was 18. So let me ask you a question: Why? Well, why you didn't allow them to date when they was younger? And for a question with you, sweet reader, why you do allow them to date? Yeah, I just kind of want to pick y'all brain a little bit. Let's see. Then I may, like I said, I may make this show for the podcast. I may make this a show for the podcast tomorrow. All right. I kind of expected that answer, but she said she didn't want them sneaking behind her back. Okay, gotcha. All right, Miss Flowers. She said my boys didn't start dating until they went to college, and her son is 35. Okay, so roughly around by what 19, 20ish years old. All right, and you was able to use this, to keep your eye on their behavior. Okay. When I went off to college, they done all what they wanted to do. I wanted them to stay focused, and they have turned out very well. Understandable. Now, do y'all know that based on everything that y'all saying, do y'all know that this is one of the main talking points of the manosphere, or what they talk about the manosphere and the red pill? For us, when they talk about men, right? This is one of they major talking points. They say in their theory, right? They say that it's better for the man, right, the young man, to not date at all, period, but for them to be solely focused on their career goals. And when they finish focusing on their career goals and they got themselves well established, then they should turn around and try to, date. Because they said that it always going to be a surplus of women, but it's not going to be a surplus of career opportunities, especially if you mess it up. But yeah, that's one of the main talking points what the red pill and the manosphere talk about for us with the men. So that's what I'm saying. Like when I was reading y'all comment, I found the interesting that y'all was saying this as women. Y'all saying this. Then South Patch statement too. The reason why I can relate to that is because to me it's better to just go ahead and allow them to experience it and you be there as a support, even while they kind of young and stuff right there. And also, it's more of a what we grown people call puppy love and stuff, right? So it's better to let them experience it firsthand, and you be that support system. Then if anything were to happen or whatever, then you can help walk them through the process versus trying to be overly protective and be talking about no, 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 no. And as what who said that, Sarita? As she said, right, was going to ultimately end up happening is that they're going to end up rebel and do it anyway. And normally, when they rebel and do it anyway, it normally doesn't end very well. It ends with them making some very bad decisions. And it also ends with them resenting you as a, you know what I'm saying, as a parent. Okay. Yeah, that's cool. And that's a good thing that your son was very open with you about, for his experiences too. That means that he trusts you a whole lot. Came up in a two-parent household, learned experience. Yep. I always believe I am not their friend, I am their parent. And I was very, very open about drugs, sex, and they was very open. I'm a kudos to you. Kudos to you for real. Kudos. Because I tell people this all the time too, that you are not your children's friend. You are their parent. They don't need a friend. They could find friends. Trust me. Even as they start to grow up and develop and become adults, they are going to find friends. They're going to find that one day one friend that's going to be with them. You as a parent shouldn't be their day one friend. You should only be their parent, period. Because they need you for their leadership and guidance. And also, they need to distinguish the difference between your roles. Because being a parent is not for the children to think that they're equal to their parents, meaning that they could just do whatever they want, they could say whatever they want to say, be disrespectful. No, they can't do that. Hey, Too Strong, salute, welcome to my house. Too Strong, I think this your first time in my house. Welcome. Now, case in point. There's a situation. My other daughter, she in the studio right now chilling, but there was a situation with her, right, that she was communicating with one of her friends and stuff, right, and how the way she was communicating with them, she was using profanity and stuff, right, and she was using this language because that is how the way they was talking to each other. And so one day I pulled her to the side and told her that because she was doing it in front of me. And so I pulled her to the side and I told her like, hey, I understand that this is how the way y'all communicate with each other. But however, can you not do that in front of me? The reason why I don't want you to do that in front of me is because I don't want you to think that you could be blatantly disrespectful towards me, because you have to understand that I am your father. I'm not your equal. I'm not your friend. I'm your father. So you have to respect me on that level, just the same way how I respect you as you being my daughter. So that's what I'm saying. Likewise, they have to be a complete difference. And you as a parent, you have to distinguish that differences between your children. Now I know one of y'all was mentioning about a two-parent household, but through my research and through my studies, right, I learned that a lot of this situation where when parents is making their children equal to them or making them be friends, unfortunately comes out of a single parent household, whether it's a single mother or a single father household. Now, I'm not saying that every single parent household is like that, but I'm just saying this through my studies or what I research, a lot of single parent households is like that, where they make they children their equal, they make their children their partners, they make their children their friend instead of distinguish the difference. And it should not be that way. because that child need you as their leader, as their head. See, all three of my children have close relationships with me today because of that, yeah. And that's good. That's good. My boys did not drink with me. They did not smoke with me, and they did not have girlfriends over at my home. They needed to go to a hotel if they wanted to sleep up. And that's good, and that's what I'm saying. That's how important that respect part. Yeah, at least they respecting you. And one other key thing too that I want y'all to pay attention to what I said about the scenario with my oldest daughter, and I was telling her that right. Notice that I didn't prohibit her for using profanity or cussing, with her friends. I never told her that she couldn't do it. I only told her that she needs to respect me and don't use that type of language in front of me. Now, for as she with her friends, whatever, I don't care what she do. That's between her and her friends. But when she's in my presence, she she had to respect me. Then furthermore, one other example that I use with her is this, and I told her this, I like, hey, do you ever see me just blatantly just cussing in front of you, right? Do you ever see me do that? And she said, no, Dad, I don't see you do that at all. I like, yeah. And the reason why I don't do that is because I respect you as my daughter. I respect you as my daughter, and I don't want you to mimic my behavior. So that's why I don't do it in front of you. So likewise, if I'm showing that same courtesy and respect with me not doing it, I demand that same courtesy and respect from you. And at that point, when I spoke to her, she understood that. And to this day, she don't. She don't say no. She'll still, she'll be with her friends, and as long as I ain't around, she'll be her friend. She just say whatever. And I don't trip. Cause like I say, I know how it is because hell, all of us, we're growing adults on this live right now. All of us have friends, and all of us used to cuss like sailors. Hell, some of us probably cuss like sailors right now. Being grown adults, but we done been there and did it. So I'm not going to prohibit her for doing something that I know no I did when I was younger. You know what I mean? Especially when I was around my friends. But I just want her to show me the same courtesy and respect. That's it. See, my kids' friends were able to come and talk to me about things that they could have talked about to their parents. And I had that same experience as well too. And that's all based on that level of respect. And that's why, since we're talking about this, that's why also as us as parents, that's why it's very vital and very important for us to be a living representative to not only to our children, right, but to, other children as well too. That's why the your representation or your moral compass is very important because you don't never know who's watching you. You don't never know who's looking at your behavior. You'll never know that the things that you say and do, it could impact somebody's life either in a positive way or in a negative way. That's why when I be around with people, I be also having like grown adults and stuff, right? Have conversations with me, right? And I just be honest with them. Like they be like I had like grown adults, they would sit up here cuss in front of their children and do all this weird stuff with their children, right? And I tell like, hey, don't be doing that in front of your kid because what's gonna happen is that they is gonna mimic that behavior. So you have to be better. And you have to be better not only for yourself, but you have to be better for your children. Let's say if you don't have any children, you have to be better for your nieces, your nephews, your cousins, children outside. You know what I'm saying? Gotta be children who you don't even know.
Ask Crystal Stranger for you.
You say you're not gonna give Flower Son plays for the Dallas Cowboys. Oh, he plays for the Dallas Cowboys. Okay, you now you don't have to. No, don't do that. Don't dox Flower. Flower just came to the show. Can be all right. She just came to the show. Don't be trying to dox somebody who just came here. Okay, just let it be. Just let it be. But salute to her son playing for the Dallas Cowboys. Salute. Oh yeah, and that's good. That's good. That's good. Like I say, we need more and more people like that where normally your children gravitates towards you, but the community of children gravitate towards you for real. And that lets you know how you are as a person, your character. That's how I was at my house, Flower. Sour Patch. Oh yeah, yeah. As they should, as they should. And I be evaluating that too. I be evaluating my children, friends, parents, and see how the way they are. If I can't trust their parents, then there ain't no way in the world I'm gonna trust their friends. Cause part of me, I'm a very transparent person. And I'll let you know straight up how the way I feel.
Marley, no. No, Marley. Out. I love you, but out. Thank you.
But yeah, this is a good conversation, y'all. Yeah, good conversation, good dialogue, good feedback. And this is can be second time around inviting people to the show. Appreciate you. And now, Miss Flower, by all means, stay sub up to my channel, and you can come on the show when I be playing my music. Be DJing. A lot of times, kids really need the attention we give them because they weren't getting it at home. Let me tell y'all another story. All right. Now I was at one point in time I was doing mentorship, and it was like this was like prior before C19 happened. Right. I was on partner with different gentlemen and stuff. Right. And these gentlemen they was on Facebook. And at the time, this was where I was on Facebook too, doing my shows on Facebook. Um, and so we was all a part of a group. And so me and these gentlemen, we got together, and one of the main dude who started the group, right? We got together. He had got together. He formed a mentorship program to where we'll go out and we'll get a lot of kids from the from our local community, right? We'll bring them into we'll bring them into like a church or a building, right? And we'll have a panel. It'll be like a panel of like 5 to 10 men and stuff, right? Who are very successful. I myself, I was part of that panel, and there was like other men as well who's part of the panel, and we were just feeding them mentorship, just giving them advice. And we allowed a Q&A session as well too, like whatever questions they want to ask us about anything, dating, relationships, anything. We was there to give them advice from a man's perspective about everything that we dealt with as men. And so that panel and that mentorship program was very successful. We helped fed them and everything. Uh, it was going good to the point where there was even taking them out on trips and stuff, right? And these boys they was part of like single parent households. These other, it was some others that was a part of no household. There was part of a system like the foster care system, you know what I'm saying, where they didn't have a parent at all. And so they was bringing all these boys in, and that's taking them out on, on field trips, going to the museum, taking them to the games and all kind of stuff. Then that's when C19 hit. But yeah, we was doing that mentorship program. So I understand how it is when children, especially boys, don't have that type of connection where they don't have that parent, whether it's a father figure in a life or a mother figure in their life. I understand that, and I know how that is, and it's good that y'all were doing that because we need that. We need us to be representative not only just for our personal household but for the community as well too. That old saying that it takes a village to raise a child, that is very true. But there's a but behind this. There's a but. The only but behind this is that when the community is messed up, right, where everyone is not thinking the same way. What if that community is so messed up and so corrupt where you, that parent, right, you try to correct the behavior of their child, right? And guess what that parent do? That parent coming and cussing you out and doing weird stuff. And so when that situation happens, you're gonna go into your natural instincts to where, "No, I don't want to deal with that." And so you end up dismissing yourself from that community. But imagine that times 100. Where 100 people then had these type of experiences where they just don't want to deal with it, just push it away. Imagine 1,000 people that deal with the same experience as well. Million of people that deal with the same experience. This is the reason why now that, just like I say, the old saying, it takes a village to raise a child. That's why it started dwindling down, dwindling down, dwindling down, all because of that one behavior of them parents. That's what I'm saying. But we got to go back to that. We have to go back revisiting that where we are collectively coming together. Cause I'm one of them parents. If another parent see my children and they see them, they know they doing wrong. By all means, you have every means to correct the behavior. Long as you're not doing it in a way where you're either physically, mentally, or spiritually harming them. But if you're doing it wholeheartedly, you know they're doing wrong, and you treating them as your child, right? Then by all means, I don't mind them doing it with my children at all. They doing wrong, tell them. Tell them I sent you. I'm saying. I'm just saying. Yeah, we don't have too many people like this in the world. Facts. Oh, you say you heard me Saturday night? Oh, so you heard me at the end of the show argue with Can B and Sour Patch about that dude moving his hip when he wasn't. And thank you. I knew I was right because he didn't move his hip. I don't know. I don't know what they were saying. Nah, no, don't get her out. I already like her. Let me hold. She need to be a moderator now. I need to promote her as a moderator. Let me unmoderate Can B, and I'm gonna give the wrench the flower now because she's my kind of guy, my kind of girl. Sorry. Ain't going nowhere to the Twin Tour when you go back to Seattle. Even when you go back to Seattle, you still sub up to my channel, so you're here. You are here. You are here now. They can't be tell you where that whole argument about the hip thing came from. Mm, mm, mm. Oh yeah, facts. And that's good. Me too. I was like that too. Yeah, I was raised the same way. Well, shoot, everybody had to crack at me if I did something wrong. So even the neighbors got on me. So and I believe that we need to revisit that. But the one thing about it is that we just all need to be on one accord with that. And that takes, especially now, it takes a lot of one trust and a lot of one maturity. to get back to how the way that was. See, oh man, 2 hours. All right, so we're now on the 2 hour mark of the live. So I'm going to get ready to end the podcast here. Oh, you going with her the Dallas for that wedding? That's what's up. Heading to my city. So your mother would have let you date it till you was 26, but you got your first kiss at 24. That's Sour Patch being fast, y'all. At the age of 24. Oh yeah, yep. That's how it started. That's how it started. It started that way, and it ended with me telling them otherwise. But yeah, it's over the 2 hour mark. I'm not figuring it in the show. I thank everyone for tuning in to the show today. Thank you everyone who's participating in the chat. Sal Patch, KMB, Flower. I thank you for tuning in to the first time. Hopefully this won't be the last time. And everybody else that stopped in too. I think yeah, Too Strong. She stopped in. Salute. Thank you for stopping in. Stop in the podcast too. Sweet Rita, thank you as well for stopping in, and thank you, not Sweet Rita. I always say you, Regina. Regina, thank you as well for stopping by and also dropping off a cash app. Thank you so much for that. Thank you, thank you. Oh, my daughter wanted me to thank her for coming briefly on the screen. Thank you, baby, for coming on the screen briefly. But yeah, thank y'all so much for tuning in. Now keep y'all notifications set for the next time when I want to go live, and I'll have other topics that I'll be talking about. I may resume my series talking about religion again, about my spirits about religion. Um, and I'll probably resume doing that. Also, me and psychology, we're going to resume our live covering by Denai Jackson and Derek Jackson. All right, we're gonna do that. But she was busy taking care of some stuff, so I had to reschedule that. So just like I say, y'all keep y'all notifications set. All right, for the next time I go live, and you'll be here in the house. All right. So thank y'all so much for tuning in for that, and also make sure you tune in on the weekends. That's when on Saturdays I do my lit Saturdays. That's when I DJ, and I probably start back revisiting me DJing on Fridays too, where I play R&B music for y'all too. All right, so. Yeah, I'm gonna do that because I believe y'all enjoy the R&B music too. Because I know list Saturdays is list Saturdays is for people who like hip hop music. But Fridays is when I do R&B night. So, and I'm just gonna stay committed to doing R&B on Fridays for y'all. All right. So tune in to both of them shows too. All right. Other than that, Thank y'all. Thank y'all. Thank y'all so much. Thank y'all from the bottom of my heart. And other than that, I will see y'all again on the next episode. Peace out, everybody. And y'all have a great night.